So here I am ready to start my hike. Nordhouse Dunes Wilderness area. It's the only wilderness area in the lower part of Michigan. Lake Michigan just down the trail here. I'll be following a ridge that parallels the shore of the lake for a while. I don't know where I'll end up for my campsite, but we'll see. Trail is narrow, follows a ridge line, going uphill quite a bit of the way. It's nice and breezy. No mosquitoes, no bugs at all, probably because of the wind. This is the second huge tree I've seen like this, completely uprooted. At some point in the last few years, they must have had a really big wind come through here to knock trees like this over. There's another one off in the distance that totally got ripped from the ground. I'm walking east-southeast now, away from the lake. This branch of the trail, according to the map, goes towards Nordhouse Lake. It's a different type of trail, more of a forest trail. The other one was sandy, like a dune trail. I can still hear the lake behind me, but it's not nearly as windy right here. It's a nice trail. Still no mosquitoes. Here's some trees that form natural arches across the trail. Definitely the most interesting trail I've ever hiked on. There's all kinds of big trees that are fallen right across the path that you have to climb over. It's kind of funny that according to the posted rules, wheelchairs are allowed on this trail. I'd like to see how far you'd get. Well, I made it to Nordhouse Lake. It's a beautiful little lake. Nice, clean looking water. The water's warm. It would be a nice place to take a bath or a swim if you wanted to. And it's going to be my water source for the night. The lake is smaller than I thought it would be, based on the outline on the map. Very nice. No people, no boats, no motors. Just the sound of the breeze. I did run into another hiker a few minutes ago standing by the shore of the lake here. He had hiked in from the south end, whereas I had hiked in from the north end. He said there were a fair number of cars in the parking lot down there. So there are other people tromping around these woods today. But I've just seen the one person down here. He's going to head over by Lake Michigan and set up his camp over there. I'm going to look for a campsite near this lake, and this is my water source for the night. Well, I found my camping spot for the night. Nordhouse Lake is off in the distance. There's a bunch of like a grassy meadow that you can see in the video, and then the lake is just beyond that. So I'm well away from the lake, and I'm well off of the trail, and the ground here is flat, which is what I'm looking for. Now I just have to make sure I'm not under any dead limbs that are going to fall on me in the night. And I'll take my tent footprint and move it around and find a good location and then set up my tent. It's just past 1:30 right now. Tent is set up. My new sleeping pad and sleeping bag and clothes and stuff are in the tent. I've made my comfortable chair for later so I can sit by the fire in comfort. I've cleared a spot on the ground where my campfire is going to be. I've got my tree shelf set up and I'm boiling some water now for lunch. I'm going to have ramen noodles. They're quick and easy and I like the way they taste. So my little area here is starting to look like a campsite instead of just a spot in the woods. Firewood for tonight will not be a problem. There's dead trees poking out of the ground everywhere. There's dead wood on the ground. There's dry leaves. There's all kinds of burnable stuff. So some of it will need to be processed for fire building, but it's just a matter of putting in the time and getting it done. And where's my fire's going to be. Here's another view of Nordhouse Lake. It's like a long, thin island or peninsula or something out there. It's really a beautiful little lake. Very quiet and peaceful. I haven't seen anybody else since I've been here today. Oh, I take that back. Over on the other side of the lake, I see people walking. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's maybe 4 people over there walking around the edge of the lake. Well, I've done my fire preparation. I was practicing cutting feather sticks for about an hour today just for something to do. So I've got a pile of those. I've got kindling, split pine, and dry twigs. I've got some pine cones, got some pine needles. I've got a couple different sizes of logs, pine logs and some dead, pretty nasty oak, but I think it'll burn okay. So now I'm going to try to ignite this whole thing using a little piece of birch bark, which I've roughed up the inside of to some fluffy material. So hopefully I will ignite that, and then ignite that, and then ignite that. So we'll see how it goes. Almost. Okay, I think I have a successful fire. It's going pretty good now. I was just cutting some old dead stubby limbs off this leaning pine tree right here. And I think I just discovered some good fuel because the ends of the branches that I cut off are dark red and they smell strongly of pine sap. So I don't have any experience with finding fat wood, but I think I just found some. I think this stuff's going to burn really well. I'm hearing what I think are coyotes in the distance. Either that or it's a very strange kind of an owl or a bird. It sounds like howling. I just saw 4 deer. They ran along the ridge right behind my tent. Looked me over and then kept going. It's about 9 o'clock. I think I've got enough wood to keep my fire going for as long as I want it tonight. So I'm getting ready to settle in my comfy chair, sit by the fire and listen to my audiobook. It's close to midnight. A big porcupine just wandered into my camp. I think he's afraid of me. He's going away. There he goes. Well, I put the last of the wood on my fire, and it's really late, and I guess I'll be heading into the tent for the night. So I'm enjoying my morning coffee while my blueberry muffin bakes over on the tree shelf. This has been a good campsite, good experience. I saw some deer running down to the lake this morning. The porcupine last night was the highlight. I've never seen a porcupine up close before. Really an interesting animal. He came very close before he decided he didn't want to mess with me. So when I leave this morning, I'll be taking an alternate route, the eastern part of the loop that goes back to the parking lot at Lake Michigan Recreation Area. So it'll be a different trail to walk and different sights to see. Probably take me about an hour and a half to get back. I would definitely come here again. Well, this is something different. So far, my trail has only been through the woods, but now I can see that the trail goes through a grassy, sunny area. So a little bit different scenery on this part of the trail. Well, my power is running low on my phone right now, so this will be the end of the video. I've enjoyed this trip, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it with me.